Hello everybody, this is from a hangout. You know those things that kind of you remember and they kind of, it doesn't annoy me, but I can't think of a better word. Just don't know how to explain it. And there was another one that Robert did, which first of all I thought the sun was over the sea, and then I thought, oh my god, in that picture it looks like it's over the field in front of him, which is not very far away. But anyway, we're going to put this little video on. It's not very long, but it's just Robert had been filming this footage, and then do you see that there's something that doesn't look right? Well, the sun is supposed to be just in front there. You can see the shadow of water, but you don't see any sunshine on the trees. There's no beam of light going across the trees like there is the water. Do you see that? Look at that. Let's go back a tiny bit. Bit more. Oh look, my cursor's over the whole thing. But do you see that? There's no sunshine really on those trees, but there is on the water. That's crazy, isn't it? Really. So what it is I've taken a little bit of footage, and then the next, it's a little, you know, it's 10, 15, whatever it is, however long me and Robert were talking later. So there it is. So it's a bit further down in the sky and looks a little bit maybe further away, but it's still not making sunshine. Even though it's happening on the water, it's not happening on the trees. And the bit you're seeing is the glare in front of the trees. Let's take that down there. This is the glare with, there it is there. Is that sun over the trees? It's not actually shining on the trees still. This is in front. It's here in the water, so it's in front of that. That's crazy, isn't it? That it can show itself on the water, but doesn't show itself going over the trees. But I'm sure back here, when it was higher and you go in there, and the sun's above you roughly, you're going to see it in the trees. But that is crazy, isn't it? What's your thoughts on that? Now when they want a time to go back to, a lot of them say the Victorians. But I want to show you something. But anyway, this is called infrastructure. And there would have to be roads. If there's stairs there would have to be some kind of road and pavement, or whatever you want to call it in those days, for the Roman building. Everything in these pictures, a lot of it, seems quite Roman. I'm just going to show you something. This is Notre Dame. It was a beautiful church in Paris. I actually went in it about 2008. But it's a bit traumatic really, because my daughter was quite small then, and she ran off in there, and I was thinking I'm never going to see her again, because it was absolutely laden with people. And then suddenly out of the crowd came Ellie. I'm so pleased, because I was like, what do we do? Someone's taken her. But I never knew the importance, because obviously this was a beautiful church. And what it is some stories will say that it was started in the 10th century. This one says that it was built in 1163 and finished in 1345. And I don't care which one you pick, whether you think it was there in 1163 or earlier, or even 1345. When you see what they built even that far back, how can Henry VIII and all that, how can any of that? Oh, see, they're on the bikes again. They cannot stop it at the moment. Anyway, it's nice weather, isn't it? Can't wait to rev their engines. But if they were able to build this in 1345, 1163 or before, why are we so surprised at what we see? let's have a look at a few pictures of Notre Dame. Unfortunately, this is what they wanted for it, because once you realise how old it really is, when the penny drops, you think, how would they be able to build this so long ago? But now it was a few years ago it got burnt out. This is more a diagram of this church, and maybe you could say that this maybe came later to this, but it has, or it still has, these amazing trusses. I mean, this thing is like way out, not archaic. This looks futuristic. How could they have built all that so long ago? 10th, 11th, 13th century. Any of those is way out to any infrastructure that we had. I made many videos, I put them out on both the Unscrambled and Sun and Moon, to show you that when it came to things like wheels or things, forks, beds, shoes, nothing changed. Guns, whatever it was, I picked. I made these videos about a year ago, and nothing changed in hundreds of years. But in the 10th, 11th or 13th century, they could build that. If they could build all that then, there was more infrastructure here then. And so history is a complete lie. Look at that building. And now they've destroyed it with fire. Because, if you know, when you look at the history, you think, God, they built this in the 11th century. Even if you take that one, because that's what it's about then, whether it's finished then or started then. How did they do that? Even if it's had some modifications. Look what they're able to do with the trusses, these things. I mean, this thing is almost, too modern. Look at it, these things are amazing. Anyway, let's carry on and watch the video with that in mind. different eras when we're looking at this stuff. Different, it's gothic, fairy tale. Look at that one. Pillars. Look at that one. They're all such different times. What's your thoughts? post to this picture was that there was 3 men or robots sitting in that cart. I zoom in as far as it will let me, but I have to say that these are not very pretty women, especially these two. I mean, that one and that one look like a man, and they've put hats on them to pretend that they've got wives. They haven't really got dresses on, have they? It's made it to look like they've got, well, I don't know, look at it, maybe it's just a sit-in, but they are not very pretty, are they? It's very strange that these ones are more clear than these ones. Yeah, let's go up there. Looks very safe. But anyway, yes, I just was adding this bit because they are not exactly the prettiest of women, are they? Are they? What's your thoughts? When you look at that picture, that person looks like they've got short hair. It looks like a man to me, with maybe even, it's probably the wall, but it looks like he's got a goatee on the end of his chin. I don't think that's a woman, I think that's a man. Look at the jacket, look how it goes on their back and that. Cool, look at those long fingers. Yes, let's get both of them in shot. When you zoom in a bit more on that one on the right, that looks more like a man. And so does that one. Man. Sorry, that's what I see. I don't see women. I just see composite men now because they've been changed into women. Yeah. What's your thoughts? When we look at these, some of them look like drawings and some of them look like real photos. But it's just hard to know whether anything is real. You know, and in there, we'll go back there in a moment. We'll do that one quickly in a moment. But, you know, we've had pictures like this of Crystal Palace. It's just hard to know if these are real pictures or whether they're kind of drawings or paintings on glass or whatever it is. But you see this one? Look at the bottom of the statue to the top and then look at the building. Does that all go together? So, I don't know. That looked a bit more muddy like. Is that a road? This is Antiquitech and old. Probably got eagles or whatever it is on it. Definitely Roman. All these things would have gone now. It's got pavements. Is this a road or is this dirt on the road? Why would there be dirt when they've got all this? I just don't know if these look real. I just don't know. But look at it all. If you've got this, you would have roads and everything. And it wouldn't be dirt. this infrastructure, all these houses and this, and is that concrete or, you know, road, or is that muddy, flattened? But then the road isn't as modern as the buildings, is it? You know, it's behind then these buildings because, you know, but and the one thing when we're looking at this stuff, there's not many people in the pictures, just odd ones. Anyway, sorry, that was something else, but there's just odd ones. Oh, that one there's loads, but I don't know if these are real. These look like these have been put in. Paintings. That kind of looks more real, but this doesn't. But then, you know, they could CGI way back there, so we shouldn't be surprised. And I mean, I've got a video waiting to go out on Buckingham Palace, and it looks like that inside. Yes, I just, you know, this doesn't have any colour, but that does. Is that a real person? Is this real? Or is this made? I just don't know. But anyway, what's your thoughts? Just look at the size of that chandelier. And even if these are candles, well, I suppose light bulbs don't weigh very much, so look at that, and look how far it's hanging down. It's not even that far off the ground, I suppose, when you don't have light bulbs. But look at the size of it. Oh my God. Not only is there this Roman element, even though I see Roman, I start seeing other styles. Pillars, but different shape. Then things start looking a bit more Middle Eastern, and some of it looks more like Oriental Middle Eastern, and some looks Middle Eastern. Is that one more Middle Eastern, you know, with their tower, or is this more European? Yep, the fairy tale stuff. It's more sort of Middle Eastern-y like. These are what they have on their buildings. everybody. Hopefully some people are watching these amazing little chats that James has. To explain, I've known James for quite a few years now, I suppose. And at one point he stayed here for a little while before he went to Scotland, and we've had many hangouts or hangout chats and looking at videos. Mickey reminded me that James is one of the first people where I was finding some of these, oh, look at that car, look, there's something wrong, and all that. But what it is we're having a telephone conversation, but lately when I message James, he sends me back another triumph. So what it is it is a telephone conversation between me and him, but he knows when he sends me his little masterpieces that I will put it out on my channel. He sounds quite happy where he is, and he's just getting quite philosophical. But anyway, let's hear what James has to say.
Something that seems to be making a more regular appearance is retrospective notifications. It's where you'll get a notification, maybe on YouTube, several days after the video has been released, rather than before the video is going to be released. And likewise seems to be across all social media platforms, similar sort of experiences. Personally, I can only mention the sort of metaverse world ones, WhatsApp and Messenger. But that may seem a bit annoying, maybe a little bit frustrating, and it may seem quite reasonable to say, oh great, now you tell me. But is it? What can we learn from this? What is it really saying? Well, if we take in the external sense, in a way it is saying, rather than waiting for a notification, or in other words, are you just going to sit there and let the system prompt you? Or are you going to take active steps? And if you feel drawn to a particular channel, for example, or you like what they're saying, wouldn't it be in your best interest to just actually physically go and have a look at that channel? Click on your subscriptions, find the channel. If it's one you watch quite regular, you'll probably find it's near the top of your list, so you won't have to look far, and just click on it and see if there's a new video appeared. So you're then taking active steps. You're not waiting to be told. You're not waiting for the system to provide you with the answer. Hopefully, at least some of you listening to this will already see where this is going. Right, that's the external. Now let's flip this round to the internal. This is where it really counts, and this is basically what is being expressed with these retrospective notifications. So internally, are you going to then look outside yourself for the answers? So where are the notifications coming from, if it's all an inside job, if it's all going on internally? I would suggest that what is being shown by the system is it's saying, take active steps. Find out for yourself by going through the experience. Now, as far as the internal side goes, Perhaps the one that is best to sharpen up on is your only true guide, which is your gut feeling. Now, it doesn't matter what the external world presents as facts, and how many people will put pressure on you to say it's this or it's that. What's your gut say? What's your internal voice saying to you? The gut, or the gut feeling, gut is God. No accidents with these words. The D and the T are interchangeable. It's also known as the solar plexus, or the place of the sun. The S-U-N, the internal sun. Hence you've got that song, "Oh Black Hole Sun, Won't You Come?" It's the Christ consciousness raising up inside oneself. But you've got to take active steps inside yourself and do that internal work. This is crucial. Also, if you are looking externally, be very discerning at who and what you listen to. I'll give you an analogy on this one. Somebody has just passed the driving test. Now they can drive. They're qualified to drive. And it's changed their life because now they want to be a driving instructor. Ask yourself this: would you go to that person who has just passed their driving test to teach you to drive? Or would you rather go with a driving instructor who has a lot of experience, who has got probably got testimonies to say that they are the real deal, that they're not out there to fleece you and have you coming back for driving lessons. They're doing it with honest intentions because they benefit, because their reputation grows, so they will then get more pupils going to that driving school. But the thing is that it's because they've got experience. So again, look at and be very discerning about what is being advertised and what's being offered. But then look at what's being presented. Do the words and actions, does the sound and picture match, for a start? Because ultimately it comes down to, in the spiritual terminology, of what serves you. It's not like that hierarchical, being a king on a throne and having servants bring things to you. It switch the word probably is the better one. Rather than saying serve, is it something that benefits you? So if you're going to pay an awful lot of money, for example, to go on a spiritual course or whatever, then ideally you're investing. It's something that you're investing in money in that you want to benefit you. So be very careful where you spend your time as well as your money. Your currency is your time. But if your gut feeling is saying, I don't know, this looks good, but go with that gut feeling. Now, I'm not casting aspersions at any particular character on YouTube or anything here. I'm saying this as a very general umbrella explanation. Give you another analogy. Let's create a level playing field. So just like a field is full of shit, manure. So what I'm doing, I'm now planting a few seeds basically in the hope that those seeds are going to grow, and what I've just said will, if nothing else, save you a lot of money that you may have invested in someone turns out to be a fraud. Because nobody wants that, and I certainly wouldn't want to wish that on somebody else. It wouldn't be coming from the heart if I was wishing that. But I don't want to see anybody being caught out. I don't want to see anybody being taken advantage of. So the sole intent of these messages is purely to help you find the keys within inside yourself. Just like a driving instructor is only going to be as good as how much experience they've had as a driving instructor. Now, this is where that's again this spiritual thing about intuition. You're your own teacher. You already have the answers inside you, which, on the face of it, it's like, well, how can I have all the answers inside me? I don't know anything. But this is the thing. It's not about knowing anything at all. It's quite the opposite. It's quietening the conscious mind that's always seeking answers externally, and being able to tune yourself in to that internal feeling from the gut which already knows. You're your own student and your own teacher within inside yourself. This very much is all an inside job in the positive sense. I think you can see that is reflected in a very negative way in the external world. I don't think there's any doubts on that one. The actions show it. So it's through going through the experiences, it's how you become your own teacher and your own student. How are you going to know? Take, for example, I don't know, beans on toast. How are you going to know what beans and toast taste like unless you actually try it? That's just one very minor, everyday example. But I like to use the everyday examples because they are things people can readily identify with. So it's just then applying the same principles to internal learning, spiritually enhancing yourself. I mean, I could play the part here of being like the emperor, and it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or I'm totally indifferent. I don't care how many people wake up. I don't care how many people don't wake up. But ultimately, it's their own actions that are going to be the make or break. If people are that close-minded or that willfully ignorant that they totally refuse to look at anything except what they believe in, that blind faith, and it doesn't even have to be a religion, it could be another type of religion like science, or anything from the education system, which is about repetitive learning, learning what the system is telling you is true. I'll leave you to decide for yourself on that, because it's always half truth, half lies anyway. This is where the discernment comes in. This is where you have to look at the yin and the yang and see both sides and remain in the middle of it, staying neutral, being indifferent. Don't be like everybody else. Be your individual sovereign self, basically. So I think I'll stop there because we're up to 13 minutes. There's quite a lot. I could go over the points again, but why should I? I've already said it. And I'm not saying that to be cruel. I would recommend that you do exactly, we use the driving again, the turn indicators, the flashing indicators. It's recommended that it's got to be 3 flashes before it registers. It goes back to that old thing with the sniper, 1 to see the light, 2 to take aim, 3 to fire. It's another everyday analogy. So, if you like what's said here, play it over twice more. See how much is stuck in your mind first time round. See also, as I've been talking about things, where your mind has gone, where things are relatable. Has your lower conscious mind now took you off? Oh yeah, I remember when that happened, and oh shit, what was he saying? There's nothing wrong with this. This is just sorting out that internal dialogue within oneself, being the observer of your own thoughts. So when the lower conscious mind does that, it does that because it's like a frightened child. It's something. This has now been faced with something different. It doesn't like that. It's constantly loving and reassuring that inner child, which is your lower conscious, that thinks it knows best. But it comes back to you. You've already got the answers inside. It's just a case of like rewiring, resetting yourself. There's your great reset. Again, it's all internal. So repent. Now what does repent mean? As Neville Goddard says, it means having a radical change of mindset. Being open to new ideas, because there are many people who will crucify themselves. They will be crucified. But they will do it to themselves because they will nail themselves to a particular belief system. No matter what it is. And a lot of them are actually false. But their ego gets in the way. They may have built a career on it. Say like a university professor or an archaeologist. They're not going to shift from that. So don't try and change them. Realise what you can change and realise what you can't change. But ultimately, the only thing that you can really change is inside yourself, because it is all an inside job. So we'll leave that one there. That's now up to 16 minutes. So plenty of food for thought, plenty of seeds I hope have been planted. May it be planted on fertile soil.